at the registrar's office in Edinburgh to meet with genealogist Nick Barrett. I've asked him to look into my family's roots here to get some answers. So I found out that this man, Alexander Spotswood, is my 7 times great-grandfather. And it's been quite an exciting journey so far. The last letter that I read, it seems something has happened to their family name or their legacy here or something.
It's an amazing story.
You have to tell me why.
Well, that's why we're here. I'm going to need a bit of a hand with this. It's quite a document. It's the pedigree of your family, so all of your ancestors laid out, as you can see.
I see my name.
There we go. So have a little look through.
Oh, so there's my 7 times great-grandfather, Lieutenant Governor Alexander Spotswood.
I got very excited by the Spotswood name. There are certain names that leap out at you, and it allows us to go back 2 generations. So this is your 9 times great-grandfather.
Sir Robert Spotswood. Sir.
Now, that is one of those titles that you see that makes you sit up and think, hold on, this guy is important. Mm-hmm. And a Sir was someone who would have been knighted. He held a really important position in the government of Scotland.
Wow.
He was, first of all, the Secretary of Scotland. He runs the country effectively on behalf of the King of England and Scotland.
Wow.
So he's a really amazing
He's a big
character.
wig.
He is. So there's a bit of a gap. So we've got this story here of Sir Robert Spotswood, who's effectively in charge of Scotland, and then 2 generations below, his grandson is turning his back on Scotland, and something happened. And the clue lies in his date of death.
So died the 16th of January, 1646 in St. Andrews, Scotland.
Now,
1646.
British history is, during this period, incredibly complicated, and at exactly the time that people like your 9 times great-grandfather were in charge and ruling on behalf of the king, a lot of the people didn't like that. They thought government should be by the will of the people through Parliament, and this led to a very bloody civil war. He was caught up in the middle of it. He was the king's man, so he gambled everything on the king winning the civil war, and the king didn't. And on this cold winter's morning, on the 16th of January 1646, your 9 times great-grandfather, he was taken out and he was beheaded. So he had a really bad end, I'm afraid.
Wow, and was that a public thing? Where they did it in front of like townspeople and stuff?
Yes, it would have been a very public show, and that had repercussions, obviously not just for him, who's dead, but for his children. Your 8 times great-grandfather and his 2 brothers. You know, you can see there from when he was born.
He's only 9 at the time that his father gets beheaded.
Yeah, he's 9 years old, and you don't just cut off the head of the family, you try and take their lands away as well. So they risk losing everything.
So this is exactly what Lieutenant Governor Spotswood is talking about, like the devastation and them losing everything in Scotland.
I believe so. They probably don't feel that Scottish anymore.
Wow.
Should we scoot back a bit further? Because there's a few more names I want to talk to you about.
I cannot believe we're back this far.
But this is where I got even more excited. So I pushed back a bit further. He is descended from your 21 times great-grandfather.
Robert the Bruce, King of Scots. So the King of Scotland.
Yeah.
Wow, that's wild.
If not the most important king in Scottish history.
That's